Ferguson with the chair here. Hope you guys are having an awesome day today. Somebody give me a thumbs up. Let me know that the mic is working okay. We're doing our first ever evening live stream. So thank you to everybody. I saw there was a couple people, to my surprise, waiting for the live stream. So thank you to, I believe there's 6 of you if my phone is lying. Thank you guys so much for showing up for our first ever live stream. We don't really have a big agenda or anything to really talk about tonight. It's just going to be you guys with the chat, with the questions and things of that nature. So from lawn care topics to Mr. Ferguson, how old are you? How many kids? How'd you and your wife meet? Where did, whatever on the personal side, I'll answer most of that as well. So, but this is cool, man. Thank you guys so much. I know the grass factor. When I was on with them, I explained a lot about how I got into lawn care. I explained, a lot about who I was and all that. Hey, Rick, thank you so much, man. I see your comment there. 64 degrees. Wow. Rain in the forecast. Awesome. Rick, thank you so much for being here tonight. So when I do see comments pop up, I will try to comment and recognize your comment. I'll do my best to do that. But if you guys have ever watched the Grass Factor, they are on point with their live streams and the webcams, and Jay Pink, the way he orchestrates and produces it. You're not going to get that quality here. I'm sitting on my front sidewalk in a back patio chair. That's my front lawn behind me, and there'll probably be people, because we got a lot of people in my neighborhood. That's the road. So there'll be people probably walking back and forth saying, what the crap is this guy doing on his front lawn? And it's about 69, 68 degrees here right now. Currently, we're filming it. I guess since Rick said he was checking in, somebody give me a thumbs up emoji if this audio is okay. If it sounds a little weird, look at... Go get out of the way. My daughters, I tell you what, if anybody has kids, they are wanting to be on camera just so bad. I want to be on camera so bad. And it's like, my goodness, but that's all 16 of you. Thank you guys. Let me see if I hit the, hey, I got the, there we go. I got the thumbs up from Chamar, Bob. Thank you guys so much. So it looks like there's a little bit of a delay in the stream. So if I'm babbling or not talking about your comment at first, I believe there is a little bit of delay. So thank you guys for the thumbs up on that. This is unique. This is weird. This is different from anything I've ever done. And so normally we're posting videos. I guess while we're kind of waiting for some questions to roll in and letting people roll in that are interested in coming in, I don't have any clue how many people are going to show up. And like I said, we don't really have an agenda tonight. We'll go on for 30 minutes, 45 minutes or so, because it is starting to get dark and I don't want the camera quality to get any worse than it is right now with the sun going down behind me. I've got my little porch light by my flag right here that you guys have seen in the videos. So I wanted to set for this one and get comfortable. I'm going to get my daughter to bring me one of my orange monsters here in a little bit so we can crack that open and get to some questions. But we'll talk about tomorrow's video. You may see some things behind me. I'm not going to mention it so much, but you see some lines back there. That may be tomorrow's video for those of you that are interested. And you'll see every now and then in the community posts, the little almost like Twitter posts, Facebook posts that I put out on YouTube, that some of the people that are members of the channel, they do get access to those videos early. So if you're interested in that, check it out. I'm not doing this live stream. I was thinking about that as I was hitting range balls earlier this evening. This is not to get more channel members or get more subscribers or get money out of you guys. This is just for fun. There's no agenda here. It's just to be able to talk with you guys and all that. So 10-second delay. Hey, good. My wife's there, Miss Ferguson. Everybody give Miss Ferguson a hand. Somebody was just talking the other day. Miss Ferguson needs to do more videos. And I'm telling you guys, I'm trying to get her out here. You guys spam her with messages about Miss Ferguson. We need to do more flowers. I know fall is not really flower time, but she can talk about some of these. And I'm hoping well, I was about to say his name. I guess I could say Mr. Blake. We don't want to say his last name. I don't want to say anybody's last name on the internet, but Mr. Blake, he had a pretty good video idea. But tomorrow's video, guys, will be about what you see behind me. And for those that have jumped in around this time, I'll mention it, and that's all I'm going to mention. So I think tomorrow's video is going to be cool. Mr. Kevin liked it. Unfortunately, I asked Mr. Kevin if he wanted to come by, 15 minutes into the live stream and kind of sit down, and that would be tag teaming questions and things of that nature. Unfortunately, he had an event tonight, so Mr. Kevin won't be here. He wasn't able to come. I tried to get Miss Ferguson to come in. She's a little shy or nervous, so I see her popping in the chat, but she's not wanting to be on camera. So again, spammer with Miss Ferguson. You need to get there. There needs to be more than just Mr. Ferguson there. I was trying to get somebody else here to read the comments and to be able to comment to you guys. So there was something that I'll start with the question that I can't remember who did it, and that's why I'm dependent on you guys. Hey, here we go, Jeff. Jeff says, checking in from Jamestown, NC. I really enjoy watching the process, and I appreciate all the help you provide. Thank you so much. Another North Carolinian. It's good to have some North Carolina people out there. Man, the lawn is looking good right now. These temperatures, these warm days, warm being the 70s, and these cool nights into the mid to lower 40s. The grass is looking awesome. I'll tell you guys what, I should probably do a review on the Andersons, because man, that there goes the kids having to run around. But that Anderson's urea with the humic coated, and not that the humic part of it is a big deal, that urea, man, I'm really liking it. I've never used urea in my lawn, but I am really liking the way that the lawn is looking right now, putting that stuff down. I'm about to hit it again, and we'll probably do that in a video here soon, put down more urea, and also to darken it up even more. It's getting late, so the color is a little darker. Of course, it looks kind of lime green on the camera I'm looking at here. But man, that Anderson's is pretty awesome. I'm liking that product. It was the 4400. So if you've never messed with urea and put it in your grass, it's a great product. I recommend it. I've had fun with it. The repair spots, I need to get the other application of dithiopyr back down in the side yard and in the backyard. And apparently, with all these dang mosquitoes flying around, I need to do another treatment of bifin or tall star. But yeah, so coming soon, we're going to be doing another shot of humic. We may do that in the same video, actually. Some more urea for the lawn to darken it up a little bit. As somebody, I can't remember who it was, but they're also doing urea. It may have been Devin, who comments pretty frequently, but every 2 weeks hitting it with some urea, to grow it, expand it, and thicken it up. And then also for dithiopyr and pre-emergent in the backyard to be able to stop Poa annua. And I'm also going to be making another video. I had to look up a peat video, I think yesterday or day before. I'm seeing some spots. I don't want to ruin the video, because then you're like, I've already heard him talk about that in the live stream. But there's some other things we're going to do with the lawn. So we got some content. And anyway, so if you guys got questions, go ahead, ask them, because I'll sit here and blab and just bore people, and I don't want to do that. So if you got a question, go ahead and ask it, whether it is lawn care related or anything like that. Are you spraying the urea or spreading granular? So currently, Jesse, I'm just doing it granular. I thought about doing it and spraying it, because I know it will, it can get onto the golf and locker. That's right, JD. Right now I'm just doing it granular. I'm just putting in 5 or 8 pounds and just spreading it and spreading it around evenly, and that's been doing just fine. We got some rain coming in possibly Thursday in 2 days, so I may put some down and film it for Friday's video or for another video and just say, hey, we're doing this again. But I went about 20 pounds on the day that we seeded. So yes, you are very right. Oh, that's Madison talking to somebody else. That's why I needed somebody here. 4600 and spray. You'll be happy you did. Yeah, I've thought about spraying. I don't want to mess up and put too much, because even in spreading it, sometimes if the spreader like hits a bump and it kind of dumps it, you can burn your lawn. So if you're not doing urea all the time, be careful of that. I think I had a spot over here that I told you guys about that I threw some seed down and we're repairing, because urea 4400, that's some straight up nitrogen that can hurt your lawn if you dump it, if you hit a hole, if you tilt it over and spill it. You're going to have a spot there, and you're going to have to reseed that area. Fortunately, this is the time to be able to do that. So, and we're going to talk about that in a video probably soon, because I'm seeing some things that we need to reseed. We just did by the driveway the other day. I saw Mr. Kevin on Sunday afternoon after church. Mr. Kevin was out there doing some of his edges again. And now's the time. Like, if you see an area that don't look right, now's the time to use that little cultivator, that garden weasel tool, hit it. Put some seed down. If you got some topsoil, spread a little topsoil on top, put a little fert on it, and boom. Let's see. Nelson says, my last soil test with my NPK was well under optimal. Does adding more fertilizer than what the lawn requires? And I missed the last part of it. So I don't know. Did you see what that question was? I missed the question. So ask that one again.
Adding more fertilizer than what the lawn requires,
more fertilizer than what the lawn requires hurt it. So you just got to be careful with when doing fertilizer. You know, nitrogen is fluctuating in the lawn. I know that much. I'm not an expert. I'm not the grass factor. I always put that out that I'm a DIYer, not a professional. But you just want to be careful. I go by a visual eye test. I don't test my lawn with the soil test all the time, but your nitrogen is going to go up and down. And that's why I'm only doing, you know, I did 20 pounds of my nitrogen at time of seeding. I didn't do any starter fert this year. I didn't do, excuse me, any phosphorus for root development, because they say phosphorus, you can use it once a year and you really don't need it after that. But you just want to be careful. And if you do a soil test and it comes back, most soil tests aren't going to tell you what your nitrogen levels are anyways, because it's so hard to calculate it. And by the time they get it and relay back the results of that, your nitrogen levels have changed. So it's like a visual thing. You can slowly look and see, okay, it looks like it was darker before. I need to, is it, you know, and you're writing it down when you're doing it. I'm doing the urea every 2 weeks. So my main thing is I'd rather be safe than sorry. I don't want to burn my lawn. I don't want to throw a ton of nitrogen and a ton of fert out there and just be like, well, because that's what I used to do the first year or so with Milorganite. They're like, yeah, Milorganite's organic. You can't really hurt your lawn. And technically that's true. And so I was just dumping that crap out there. It was dark as it could be. I mean, it looked like it was almost, you know, that bluish green color. But with the urea, definitely you want to be careful. And so let me put it this way: if you seeded around the time I did, around September 16th, and you did some starter fert, and about this time, I would say it's right about that. It's almost a month. You're right about another time to be able to do another application of something like a 1600, a 2000, 2006, whatever. Some of you guys. I'm just waiting for the 5% Kentucky Bluegrass. It was in my triple threat plus to germinate. Janelle, I hear you, man. Yeah, we'll talk about the bluegrass here in a second. But anyways, I lost my train of thought now. But if you've not put any more nitrogen down since in mid-September, early September when you seeded, I definitely think you're fine to do it again. And if you're up north, you guys have winters and cool seasons where your grass will go dormant, unlike me. And if it does happen here in North Carolina, in the central North Carolina area, it's going to happen like in January, and then we'll get February off and we're back mowing in March. It's a very short window and period of time. Up north with you guys look on Greencast. When does the ground start to freeze? When can I expect for my grass to start going dormant? And you know about how long you have until that happens based on the history. Greencast.com, I think, is that you put in your zip code and it can tell you the history of your soil temps of your area. When you see those soil temps start getting into the 30s, you know, okay, the ground's pretty much freezing around this date. So I've got this much time until that date. So I've got, 35 days so I can do another application. And sometimes you want to do like a 4400 application and then do something right at the last tail end of that as a winterizer. So when the grass goes dormant, it stores all that nitrogen potential energy in the soil, if that makes any sense. And then when spring comes around, it uses that nitrogen as soon as it warms. Excuse me, as soon as it warms up. Some people like that. Some people don't like that. Ryan Knorr is one that doesn't like that because he said he did it one year and in spring it came around and boom, his grass popped up and he had to mow, and he didn't like that. So he don't like winterizer. Hope the Lord blesses your family and the lawn. Be well. Lavinda, I think is what that said. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. What is that? Lavinda. And I think that's what if I mispronounced it, I apologize. I am terrible. Number one of remembering names and maybe pronouncing names. So I'll say L, Mr. L, Miss L. I can't see. It's so small, guys. I apologize if I got my wife over here on the side. She's kind of reading the comments to help me out. So that's why I'm looking to the left. Yes, Miss Ferguson's here, but she's off camera. She did come out here. So, but yeah, going back to what John L was saying, the 5%, man, that year that I did GCI Cool Blue, I'm telling you, it was, if you've got Cool Blue going out, Joe, we'll get back to your question. I see something in there. Yeah, Madison's got it. Hopefully it don't go away. But as far as the bluegrass, man, that season, it was my second year. I bought Cool Blue, not knowing, okay, it's, 5, 50, I think Cool Blue is 15% Kentucky bluegrass. But man, it was like, I said, did I do something wrong? I started double guessing. And that's why we made that video about being patient when you're doing fescue plus bluegrass, because man, it takes so long to develop. And that GCI Cold Blue seemed like it took forever, but it took like a full month and a half. But once it came in, that was, I still tell my wife to this day, that was the best looking lawn we've had. If you've done Triple Threat Plus, if you've done GCI Cool Blue or something of fescue with 5, 10, 15% Kentucky bluegrass, it takes longer to germinate and to really fill in the lawn. But oh my goodness, it looks so good. Kay, I like cheap ways of doing the lawn. I've never had disease or grubs. I fertilize 2 times a year. The cheapest fertilizer for those works great. Yeah, grubs is something else this time of year. I mentioned, I think, in a video before. I know she started holding the video or question for Joe, but we had like little crop circles over here on the backside of the property. I was like, what the heck? All the grass was like 4.5 inches tall, but I had these areas like in a circle that was like, you know, 1.5 inches or whatever, and it was circles, like 2 or 3 of them, and I know it was grubs munching on the roots that just halted the growth, but everything else around it kept growing. So grubs is something that definitely can be real right now. You ever get into real mowing? Sure didn't, JD. I've just done fescue, kept it between 2.5 and 4.5 inches tall, and so just straight up fescue.
Joe has a GCI Cool Blue yard. Loves the channel. It uses Anderson char. It does really good on my yard. Would you go back to using the protein bird?
Oh, cool. Joe, she just read your question. If you can't hear her, she's off camera. But as far as the protein fert, he was asking would I go back to protein. Man, that protein, that intro on my video that we still use where the drone is going up and it shows the Mr. Ferguson logo, that is a protein lawn in the early spring. Kay, we'll get to your question here in a second. I like ProMix. Have you tried? James, have you tried? Good to see you, James. Have you tried dissolving the humic coated fertilizer yet? I love the idea of the product that can be used as either a granular liquid. No, I've not done it as a liquid yet, James, but we've only done it. But we may try that. We may try that on the channel just to try it. But yeah, that was that intro video to my videos when the music is playing is a protein lawn, Joe. And man, that protein, it lasts a good 65, 70 days for sure, maybe 75 days. I know it says 90, but you're always trying to overlap it right at the tail end of it. So right around day, 80, 85, you're putting down more fert. But man, that protein, I would definitely go back to it. And that's the reason why it costs a little bit more, is because it's extended out to a 90-day period. Oh, live versus PGA. Griff is trying to cause controversy, but guess what? I like them both. My dad does not. My dad is PGA only. He's not going to watch live golf. They're traders and all this. And I get that point of view, but that one event where Dustin Johnson made that like 45-foot putt to win it, it was ridiculous. And then I think somebody shot like a 52 or something. I love the protein fert. Hey, there's Mr. Blake there. Hope you're having a good day. Thanks for tuning in, Blake. We appreciate you. I wonder if Holly's doing it. Yeah, go ahead. What Kay said?
The quality of the seed's important. Don't buy cheap stuff from Walmart, like the Scott seed.
Yep.
He said it's the cheapest. ProMix and Jonathan Green are great seeds that don't break the bank. And then you have Prince that said, how do you prepare your fescue lawn in the spring to hold up for the summer?
Yep. So as far as seed, what Kay was saying, absolutely. Seed is important. That's why GCI is a quality seed. It's not blue tag certified, but GCI seed has no weed seed in it. It is a quality seed. It is used. It's sold. Alan Hain likes it so much, he sells it on his website. It is a quality seed. Somebody the other day was just telling me, I think it might have been even today, that he bought a pack of or bag of Pennington seed, put it down, nothing. He bought something else like Jonathan Green, put it down, and now he's got germination happening. So so seed does matter. And if you look on the back of the bag on the label, there has to be a label there of when it was tested and all that, and they'll tell you what is in it. And if it's got a bunch of weeds, noxious weeds, it definitely makes a difference when it was tested, germinated, all that good stuff. So what's that? Kid was about to get hit by a car.
I saw water soluble humic powder. Have you heard or used it? It seems good, and it's a heck of a lot cheaper than buying gallons. That's from Kay again.
From Kay. No.
Holly says you're on the big screen at their house.
Oh, Holly's got me on the big screen. Holly Hunter said I'm on the big screen. Can I get out? I can't get out of the big screen. Hey, Sadie. Hey, Nora. I'll say that, and then they know who they are. So we'll just put that out there. No, I've not done a lot. The only thing I've really sprayed, guys, is biostimulants, fungicides, herbicides, things of that nature. I've never sprayed. Well, I've done fertilizer. Obviously, we've got some green charge from Next in the shed down here. I've done green punch. I made up my own combination with green punch and what was that? I did green punch and I did green effect, and I called it the green punch cocktail or something like that. I don't know what I named it. It's Jolly Holly. But it was, but I've done that way, but I've never taken a solid. Besides the prodiamine, it's kind of like in a pellet form, and that's dissolved into a liquid, and I've sprayed the prodiamine, but I've not done that with urea. So that's something I'm nervous about. I'll tell you what, you guys told me, and it was all you guys that said the fusilade is powerful, be careful. And man, that stuff is, whew, if you're new to the channel and you didn't watch when we did fusilade, man, that was some powerful stuff, because it's just like point something, 0.4 we put in per thousand, and man, it was just torching the areas. We're gonna have to go back to fighting Bermuda this spring. As far as preparing for summer, hey Jacob, it's good to see you, man. I think that's a Mr. GCI guy, if I'm not mistaken, Jacob. Thank you so much, man, for tuning in. Appreciate your support. But as far as prepping, we got a lot of lawn vets here in this channel, and that is so cool. And they keep me straight, and they add advice, and so anybody can help with the questions if Mr. Ferguson don't see it, because sometimes these guys know better than me. But as far as spring, a lot of our prep is in the fall, because that's the mowing. Somebody mentioned you can use PGR, the growth regulator, for the same purpose as mowing, and so, oh no, get JD out of this. It is an alpha grass, though. It doesn't want to dominate everything, but it's getting the grass down in the fall. We're mowing, we're thickening it up, we're driving the roots, we're using that starter fert. Some people use starter fert, phosphorus, and then biostimulants, and then we have the winter lull to where everything kind of slows down, and then come spring, everything's thickening and livening up. And spring really does that. In the areas in the fall where you're like, man, I got to put seed here and put seed there, this ain't thick enough. Oh, spring really does a job of everything gets thicker and fills in more, and it looks, in those early March and April time frames, you just got to trust that it's going to thicken up, because it will, and it will look awesome. And then once we get into there, it's all about, the biggest thing I recommend is pre-emergent. We use the soil temperatures, like Alan Haynes suggests, as a guide to tell us when we should be doing this. When we're starting to approach 55 degrees, we want to do our first prodiamine application or dithiopyr application, and then we split that into approaching, if I'm not mistaken, getting closer to 70 degree mark, we want to put down a second if we're doing split apps. That is the most crucial thing, because we want to stop crabgrass. We want to stop those weeds from coming up. And that is a huge difference maker in your lawn, is pre-emergence. Because if you forget the pre-emergent, you're like, it's cold outside, I'm not getting up and doing this. And you forget, and you're into the college football playoffs, and you're into Super Bowl time, and you're not paying attention, and you forget that. You're like, crap, totally missed the pre-emergent. Then now you're going to have all these crabgrass and weeds popping up, and it's annoying, and it makes a huge difference when people are walking by and you've laid down the pre-emergent, and then now we're getting into March and April, there's no weeds in your lawn, because you've already taken care of that with that invisible vapor barrier on your soil. That's the biggest thing, and the grass will flourish. And then you're hitting it once again in early spring. You're hitting it with protein. Protein is a great fertilizer. I highly recommend it. It seems like forever since I used Flagship or something like that. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to get into this spring as far as fertilizer. Everything is going up. You guys know that. So it just depends. It depends on what the economy's looking like, what our budget is looking like. Luckily, I can report we just got our water bill the other day, and it's half the cost of what it was the month before. It was $200, not $400. So yeah. So even during seeding, we cut our bill in half seeding with watering than we did during July, trying to keep it alive, where we supposedly spent $400. So yeah, if you missed that, yeah, it was a $400 water bill. Crazy. They went up on our rates by, but what was it, 70? It was, yeah, it was 75 for the base rate. They went up to $80 for the base rate, and so that was a factor too, and that was the first time. So Tom L, thank you so much. Hey, how's it going, man?
Every summer, so I consider a warm season here. It only gets down to 0, which is close to transition zone.
So somebody was asking about the watering just now. I saw it come through. 2 or 3 inches. So that's when I back off. Yeah, Yeah, Holly. We need y'all's well. Bring it over here. But I definitely back it off a lot. So the way that I've always done it is when I'm throwing the seed out, you want to keep that seed moist. You've heard of people. If you've not heard, you can look this up. Some people will put their seed in like a fisherman's net with the very small holes. They'll tie it off. They'll put it in a 5-gallon bucket and put a brick on top in water, and then they'll change that water every 12 hours, and they're pre-germinating it. And then you have to have some, I forgot the way that they're putting it out, but then they're getting germination in like a day or two. Well, if we're not doing that, we're doing the conventional way, we're just spreading it. Then we're trying to keep that, it's the same idea, you're keeping the seed moist. So I was out here that week, 5:15, 5:30, 6 o'clock, and I would just run the sprinkler. Since I was just on the front yard, it was way more manageable and easy. And I was doing about 4 different zones: the bottom left, the top left, the top right, and the bottom right. And that was my 4 areas: the bank and then the bottom. And so I would do about 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes, and then I'd go to work or whatever. When I'd come home in the afternoon, when I was here, I would take the water hose and just spray it a little bit and just keep it moist. And then I would sometimes hit it in the evening, just like a touch, just go out there and hand water it just to get outside. And so I neglected all the other grass, but that's what I would do every day for about 5 days. And then after that, like you said, 2-3 inches, I was definitely backing off. And I was really like in the afternoon time, if I was teleworking or something. If not, in the evening, I would hit it for about those 10 minutes every other day. I was hitting it, maybe some hand watering in there, but I couldn't help to walk out here and look, is it germinating, is it germinating, trying to be patient, like we're talking you guys to be patient. So oh, it's Miss Ferguson again. So yeah, so once you get 2 to 3 inches, you can definitely back off some, but also in that it's rain. If you're getting rain all the time, clearly you don't need to be putting sprinklers out. If you're not getting any rain whatsoever and you've only got 2 to 3 inches of growth, every other day I would go ahead and be putting some water on it. Rick says, have you ever priced having second water meter installed? Yeah, it's 1,000. It's like 1,300 bucks. It's something like that. Patrick, thank you so much, man. Welcome. Thank you so much, Patrick, for joining. Woo, for becoming a channel member. I appreciate that, Patrick. Thank you so much. He has access now to early videos. You got them custom emotes down there. Thank you so much, Patrick. Appreciate you. Yeah, and that is something, if you guys are interested in, if you want to become a member and join the channel, you get the custom emotes, you get all that. There's 2 different options. Check that out. Subscribe as well and all that good stuff. I meant to say that, but Curtis, how's it going, man? I appreciate it. Yeah. Hey, somebody just going live on YouTube is not really a big idea, a big deal to some people. So I totally understand. 36, 37 people. That's awesome. I appreciate all of you spending a little bit of time just asking questions and all that. But yeah, let the questions flow. Like if you're new and you've just come in, people are just asking some questions. I got Miss Ferguson over here. So GCI in the building. Yeah, Jacob. Jacob works for GCI. I'm jealous of him. Who? John L. Yeah. 4 Green County products to start with. If you're just getting in lawn care, I would go with the 4 basic ones that Pete talked about. RGS. I would go with Humic 12. I would go with Microgreen. And I guess you could do aerate because it does have humic in it. That's the 4 I started with. 8 years. Yeah, man, you've been there a while. I came up there once. Yeah, you got a good boss. Hey, Grace, how are you? Grace Ortiz. Grace has been here since the very beginning. So, Grace, thank you so much for being here all the time. Upstate New York, Thurston in the house, man. Yeah, you was asking questions, I believe, earlier, Thurston. So, yeah, 80 bucks. So anyways, yeah, RGS. If you're going to do an order from GCI or from Yard Mastery or from Green County, if it was me, I would start with these: RGS, Humic 12, Aerate, and Microgreen. Be careful with the Microgreen. You want to do soil tests now. So I would recommend, obviously the Humic 12, the Aerate, the RGS, those are fine to put down. But when we're talking about the Microgreen, it's got 3% iron in it. So it's going to leave your hand smelling irony. But you can put, don't go read the label and all those and put them down accordingly, because the iron will darken up the color of your lawn. It can stain things if you spray it on things. So be careful. And but check your soil test. Do a soil test. It doesn't have to be It doesn't have to be a yard mastery test. You can go to your local extension, but see where your micronutrients are and then try to hit those with something like microgreen. And that's just the Green County stuff. I know there's other products out there. That's just what I saw. That's what I got into first, not these other, I think something solutions is out there. There's all these different companies that you can go with that may even be cheaper. I don't mean to always sell you guys on the next products or but I just find them to be pretty good and pretty reliable. And we didn't do a lot of biostimulants last year, but we may do that more this year. So yeah, but that definitely whenever I'm putting down let's see, Rican, hey brother, not far from you. I'm here in the Queen City. Is it too late to see this season? Absolutely not. I think it's a Rican or Rican. I can't remember. It's Rican. It's definitely not too late. As long as the ground is not frozen, I'd say go for it, man. It's ideal to be doing it in September, end of September, early October. But you can definitely, if you're in North Carolina and you're near Central North Carolina, you definitely can be seeding. It's if you haven't done an aeration, it's recommended. If you know somebody, if you can rent an aerator, if you've not done a core aeration in a long time or ever on your property, it's recommended, but it's not absolutely necessary. Tracy's in the house. I'll get to your question here in a second if you got one there. Or maybe you're just making a comment. I'll get Miss Ferguson. But if you can't do that, Riken, if you can't get an aerated, that's fine. You can try to throw down some seed and work with what you got for this year. And then when you get into it next year and you get a little more education under your belt, I would do a core aeration because that always helps.
He's upstate New York, fan of GCI. He overseeded with TPF, KPG in September. Turf is thick, but he's still hoping for more green up. And
cool.
Kay said he had a soil test and was shocked that he's had sufficient or slightly high quantities of all the nutrient micros so he could save money.
What about Tracy? Yeah, what Tracy said?
I think it's too late to patch a few spots on my lawn renovation that never came in. Must be too cold up here in Kentucky for germination. Water this spot 7 days and nothing, 33 degrees. And then Holly says, how often do you recommend doing soil test?
Yeah, as far as the soil test, if you're, it depends. Obviously, it depends on your budget. You can get some of these from different people, and they're $40 a pop, and you're like, oh, that's nothing for me. Bling bling. Like Holly and Blake, they've got lots of money. They live on this mansion down the street, so they've got a really nice house. But they can afford lots of soil tests. So I'm kidding. I'm just talking about them. They go to our church, but I would do one in the fall. I would do one now if you could. I would do one in early spring. Remember, we talked about pH as well. Your pH is very important in as far as your grass as well. And high pH, the low, grass prefers slightly acidic, so that's on the lower end, the 6.9. I can't remember the scale now, but somewhere around 7 is neutral. So if you're a little below 7, that's okay. But right around there, you want to be slightly acidic. So soil test is also going to tell you, where's my pH at? I'm a little high. I need to add some or excuse me, I'm a little low. I can't remember now that I'm not thinking about it. We need to add lime. Somebody can comment and tell you.
Basic. If you go low, you're acidic. If you go high,
adding lime.
Low is acidic, high is basic.
I think lime brings it down.
Is lime acidic or is it basic?
Yeah.
It's acidic.
Yeah.
Then it's gonna bring it down.
Brings it down. Yeah, when it gets too high. Yeah. Sorry, I have to think. There you go. 6.5 to 7.5 line decreases. Thank you, Kay. See, he's on the ball. See, I've got so many distractions. But yes, lime will bring it down. So if you're showing, oh my gosh, my pH is way up here at 7.8, I need to get this sucker down, you're going to want to use some lime and drop it down. Jonathan Green makes a bag and product, and there may be other ones. Is there a glare on there? No, it's just the way the screen looks. That can raise it. Elemental sulfur. There you go. That's basically from Jonathan Green. You put it down and you can raise it. But your pH is very important. And so if you're like, well, I've never done a pH, I just got grass, then you definitely want to check that. What's your thoughts on ammonium sulfate as winterizer? Soil pH is 7.2. So I've never used that. The Grass Factor asked me, thank you, Maddie, appreciate it, man. The Grass Factor was telling me that's what I should use as ammonium sulfate. I've never used it, Thurston, so I don't want to comment on something I don't know about. Now we got a lime debate, but lime raises pH. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah. It's one or the other. I'm sorry.
I need to do a soil test. What a new. Eric and Stephanie. Wait, I thought lime raises it.
Yeah, there's a lime debate. Ammonium sulfate brings it down. There you go. So you can Google it. Here's what you do. You Google it. You say, I don't trust that, Mr. Ferguson. Let me get on here and use my Google fingers. And that's how you do it, because that's exactly what I would do is check it. Oh, look, it's Pete Denny. He's been doing this for 25 years, and listen to him, or Grass Factor, or just Google it and it'll tell you that's the message. But you guys get the point. Never, never take what we take here. That's why I tell you guys I'm a DIY and not a professional. I don't want anybody to ever go out there and say, well, Mr. Ferguson said to do this, and they torch their yard. That would make me feel horrible. So, but anyways, we got time. It's getting a little dark. What time are we at? 6:45? 7. So we can go for about another 15 minutes or so. So where's the monster? I know. I think my daughter, I said, hey, go get me a monster. And she ran away. She's out here playing with the kids and everything, because we typically don't do this. And they're like, oh, Dad's doing like, and I look like, I got an extension cord, running off in the porch. I got my outside spotlight here. That's the light you guys are seeing. Yeah, I need my drink, man. But it's kind of late now. I don't want to drink them at 7. Yeah, okay. But what's not bad for you? It's bad for me to be outside, apparently. They say global warming, I should be on fire right now or something. And the vaccine's good for you, but we're not going to go there. And mosquitoes and all that. So mosquitoes, yeah, they're good for you and bad for you and all that as well. So nope, I don't have any mosquitoes eating me, because we did put down some bifin a while back. So Curtis says, what are your thoughts? Sorry, Curtis. Now low carb monster, 2 liters. Yeah. So this is, if you did damage last year, like typically in my lawn, you guys know, if you look at the last times I seeded before this past year, but the previous 2 times that I ran the aerator with Mr. Kevin, I hardly have any grass in the front yard and backyard. She'll tell you, when we come back from the beach, it was torched. I'm like, it's over. And this year, all the money we put into that water brought the grass back like I've never seen in my entire life. I didn't think it was even possible. And so the grass came back, and I had more grass this year, but I think a lot of people had more grass this year than any other year, basically because we had a weird cool down in August that was like, oh my gosh, the sweet relief. And we had a little bit of rain mixed in that, and it was just perfect to save grass. And so, yeah, bifin. Yeah, Mr. Yeah, bifin is like it's Tall Star. Tall Star, yeah, okay. They use GCI apparently uses bifin granular. But man, we sprayed it. We had that youth bonfire I was telling you guys out at my church. It's in the sticks, it's in the woods. And Mr. Blake took his 4-wheeler, 25-gallon tank on the back. We loaded that up with bifin. He sprayed. I did backpack sprayer around the church, our playground, the area we was doing. We didn't have the first mosquito flying around, bug. Of course, we had a bonfire, but there was much more areas where you wasn't near the fire. And man, it was, and then everybody's like, oh my gosh, everybody's like, can you send me what that is? I need to spray that at my house. And we sprayed it around the edge of the church. We don't have any more little centipedes and stuff coming in. Tall Star, very great product. It's very safe. You can spray it on the inside, you can spray it on the outside. Read the label, but it is great if you're having a wedding, if you're having a party, not in the winter. If you're having this in the summer, get you some Tall Star and spray your area. And we sprayed it. We didn't have any problems whatsoever. It was fantastic. Is there a bird behind me? Tracy she was good to throw down water through the frost, and you'll get grass continue watering for at least 10 days with Pest with nothing. Yep. If you guys remember, yeah, Tall Star. It's called Tall Star, TALSTAR, and it has bifin in it. You can buy straight up bifin, or you can buy Tall Star, and you can read. If you look at Do My Own.com, and look up Tall Star, it tells you all the things. The ants, it takes care of ants. It takes care of all these different critters, and it is a one and all product, super safe, great for pets. No problem. Always happy to help. Just thought I'd pop in for a little bit. I'm enjoying the live, bro. Thank you, Jacob. 2 times to throw Disease X. Yeah, Disease X. I saw something about Tracy talking about Disease X there. Yeah, Zoxystrobin is in Disease X, Scott's Disease X. We talked about that as far as fungicide. And remember, guys, as far as fungicide, fungus likes to pop up when there's temperature shifts. So when it gets hot to cold, cold to hot, and there's temperature changes, that's when fungus can pop up. And that's what we want to be preventing and being careful. Some people take the risk and they're like, I ain't put fungicide down 20 years and I'm great. Hey, all power to you. But I saw it that first year. See, I'm from the mindset of Mr. Joe Ferguson, my father, who's like, oh, they're just trying to get your money. They're just trying to get you to spend extra money on this lawn care plan and blah, 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 blah. And that first year I was like, I'm not doing fungicide. I'll just do the fert and I'll do the lime and I'll do the seed. And then some weird, funky, brown stuff popped up. I was like, crap, I know what that is. That's fungus. I had to do some research. What is this? It was rust. It was some type of fungus in the lawn. So I know that sometimes we want to take the cheap way out, but it is something you need to look at. Stay at it, Tracy. Look dormant, seed it works. Just have to be patient. Amen. You do have to be patient. Lawn care is a lot about trust, and it's trial and error, guys. So don't be afraid if you're trying this year. Obviously you don't want to do stuff and put money into something and then lose out on all that. But you definitely want to see, okay, is this working? And keep a journal if you can. I'm terrible about that, but keep a journal about I applied this, I applied that, and see what helps and what didn't help. And if your lawn gets burned, okay, how much did I put down per thousand? Did I go over on this? Oh crap, I mislooked at it. Like I did with Fusilade, and I showed you guys with the Fusilade. I went back and read it. Sure enough, oh crap, I went 0.4 instead of going like 0.1 or 0.17 or whatever it was. I went way too much per thousand, and yep, it burned up my grass. So we make mistakes, but that's how we learn. It's something our nation needs to really learn, is that it's okay to make mistakes as long as you learn from them and say, hey, I screwed up. Sorry, wasn't on purpose, but I'm going to learn from this, and hopefully next time it's going to look even better. You can come this way, Perry. Nice. I live in the capital. Oh, cool. You can say hey to him. You got to go to bed soon. Well, we only got about, I don't know, we'll do another 10 minutes. I live in the desert, so I guess that's why I've had no fungus. Yeah. Hey, that could be why. So any more questions? Somebody was asking earlier, huh? Oh, somebody was asking earlier how I got into lawn care. And to summarize the story, I told it on, let's see, my friend said he uses 10-10-10 as a fall fert here in PA. Is this a good idea? Yeah, my dad is a 10-10-10 warrior. He probably should have a shirt that says that. So that's 10 nitrogen, 10 phosphorus, and 10 potassium. So it's like a, base, like 10 of everything. So yeah, I mean, it just depends. Like 10-10-10, can you burn your lawn with 10-10-10? Sure, if you put enough of anything down, it can hurt it. So you just, but some people live and die by this is what works, and I'm not going to stray from this, and that's totally fine. The point of the soil test is where am I at? What are my levels? And that's why soil tests are so critical. And that's why I encourage people to do a soil test. Go out, collect the plugs, and send it off, whether it's your local extension, whether it's a My Soil Savvy, My Soil RX, Yard Mastery, and they'll send back this report, and you see, okay, here's my phosphorus, here's my potassium, here's my micronutrients, and then it's like, okay, well now I want to increase this one. I don't need this, I do need that, and that's kind of what you go off of. So if you're like, I'm super good on phosphorus, well, I don't need any. So if you're using 10-10-10, but your phosphorus levels are high and your potassium levels are high, I would say you just need to go with a nitrogen, so a 10-0-0 or a 26-0-0. See you, Kay. Have a good night, man. And so you can alternate your fert and because you're trying to cut, now you're tailoring it to what exactly is in your lawn. So it's not just put the same thing down all the time when it may not even be necessary. Plus, it may somehow be cheaper to buy this 26-0-0 than a 10-10-10, and you're actually saving money because you don't need the phosphorus and you don't need the potassium. And then you can look at micronutrients, which aren't as important, but are important. And that's where microgreen comes in and biostimulants come in. So to answer your question, it can be complicated, but I would say soil test, soil test, soil test. Best thing I ever did for my lawn was starting to do soil tests. They let me know exactly what I need to put on. Exactly. It's like a cheat code for your lawn, telling you exactly what you need. I think it's like 2 millimeters per gallon. But yeah, what is in my dirt? What does my dirt need? What does it not need? That's the point of the soil test. And it's just a matter of getting out there and doing it, whether it's, and some of your local extensions are free. It's just a matter of collecting the dirt in a baggie and taking it up there and turning it in, writing your name on it. And then in a couple weeks, they'll tell you, here's your results, and send it to you. And then people like the Grass Factor can help in deciphering, like, what does this mean and that mean, parts per million and all of that. They help people to be able to read them and break it down. And so, but if you're looking at like My RX and My Soil Savvy and Yard Mastery and all that, they kind of break it down in a different format where it's kind of easier to read. But there is a difference, and I don't want to quote this because I may be wrong in exactly what I'm saying, but Soul Savvy measures one way, like with iron compared to extensions. They measured iron a different way. So anyway, so we'll go for another 2 minutes. If there's one more question out there, we'll begin to wrap it up. I know my kids got to get to bed here soon, and my wife's an early sleeper too. So while we wait for that one question, thank you guys so much. Thanks to the 29 of you guys, 28 that stuck around, man. I appreciate it. Maybe next time we'll have more of an agenda of something you guys want to do. I don't know exactly what that'll be, but yeah, but you guys can let me know in the video comments, and we can kind of go from there. So let me know what your thoughts are there. I hope the mic and everything has sounded great and been good there. So, but yeah, I thought this went pretty well. So, oh, Perry, what are you doing? Saying bye to somebody? Oh, they over there watching? Oh, okay. You gonna say hey? Oh, is you walking her back home?
Hi.
Say hey, everybody.
I'm Mr. Ferguson's daughter.
Oh, you are? What's your name? They don't know your name.
My name's Sarah Jane.
Your name's Sarah Jane, and you're how old?
7.
7. How much do you know about grass? Oh, you need to show them.
Yeah,
that she's gonna show you. Thank you, Mr. Ferguson. My looks good because of your videos. Hey, cool, Nelson. Thank you so much, man. You have the live streaming girl like
and this is my grass.
Yeah, so this is Perry's grass. Nora said, "How do you keep your line so straight?"
I'm not actually Perry.
Oh, yeah. We call her Sarah Perry because her name's Sarah Jane. But this is Sarah Jane's grass. So we put some GCI turf, Jacob. I think Jacob headed out. But we put some dirt in here. So again, I did a test. I put all topsoil in here, put some seed, wasn't growing after 4 days. And this one I did do a little earlier. I took it out, put some natural dirt in, put that seed back in, and it started germinating. So, but this one, that's a topic for another day. But you guys can see it's looking great. And we gave it a haircut with the scissors. Yep. And so this is GCI grass. So this will probably go somewhere. Maybe it'll be going in that ditch if we don't grow any. But this is Sarah Jane's little guy right here. So
I'm here, bro.
Oh, there's Jacob. Yep. So we got some GCI in here, which is what our back is. Yeah, Jacob says he likes your he works for your grass. So just kidding. He works for Pete. So
if you work for my grass, thank you.
They can't hear you if you don't have the mic on. But yeah. You don't need to get all
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, they can hear.
That's awesome.
All right, guys.
Thank
well, we'll conclude it with that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. For those that are watching afterwards, this should upload to the channel. If you missed it, I'm sorry you missed it. Hopefully, we'll see. We had a pretty good turnout. We didn't quite make it to 50. Thanks, Randy. Appreciate it, man. Jacob, thank you so much, man. Everybody, thank you guys for showing up. We'll do this again sometime. We may do it once a month or something like that, just to connect with you guys and ask questions. Yes. Do I cry a little on the inside when trick-or-treaters walk across my lawn? Well, we always turn our lights on and go to our church. So, yeah, we turn off our lights, and we're always up at the church. So if they do, I've got a rope. If you all never noticed, I've got a rope up right by the road. So, but anyways, yeah, we're trying to dominate for trick or treat. So we're gonna do some more striping in this lawn, and we're gonna darken it up for them. But thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a privilege, been an honor. Hope you'll check out tomorrow's video. If you're interested in channel memberships, have that little icon by your name. Custom emotes, all that, check that out. I appreciate it. The super thanks. Make sure you subscribe, share it. Hopefully we're helping people out there. Turn the sprinklers on. Yeah, make sure you're giving some water to your grass. You guys have a great night. God bless you. We'll see you on the next live stream. Take care.